what's up, everybody? Time for another edition of the Bill
Burt
Pod
Cast.
What's up, everybody? Bert, hey, I got to ask you about what's going on with that hat you got there. Is that some
like it?
minor league shit? I love that. What is that?
Yeah, this guy, SF Grippy is his name. He makes hats. I don't listen that well. I think he makes hats. He finds logos and then makes his own hats, or they're from minor league teams, or they're defunct minor league teams that he brings back. But he makes cool hats.
I don't listen to. Were you just so enamored by his hats that you weren't listening?
I like the hats, and he told me, and I was too busy looking at the logos. I wasn't listening at all. And my problem is I have a big head. I have a size 8 head. So the problem is you only get hats in places where there are big market teams. So New York, Boston, Los Angeles. And so in order for me to have a hat, I'd have to, like you never like, so then walking around with a Boston hat in LA is fucking exhausting. So
now that we beat them in the World Series, fair and square. Listen, if in 2020 you can't figure out somebody's banging on a fucking trash can, you can't figure out what's going on. I mean, come on.
If you have a Boston hat in Los Angeles, every dude from Boston wants to connect with you. It's almost like you can give them a ride home. You walk into a store, it's like, oh, Boston, you see the game? Hey, how about Manny? He had a good game today, right? And you're like,
oh, you're going the other way. I thought it was LA fans. Oh,
no. And then I was like, I'm not from Boston. And they're like, what? You got the hat on. And I'm like, yeah, I have a big head. And they're like, yeah, I got a big head too. And I'm like, well, mine's bigger. And they're like, I don't know. And then every time it was that same conversation. So
go ahead. Fits good on your body. I think I have a big head, but I'm in the 7s. I was higher, and then what's great is if you shave your head, your head size goes down about a half a size, depending on how big your fro was. So I think I'm like a 7 1/4. You're an 8. Wow.
8, yeah, an 8 size 8 head. It's almost like a fraternity of men who have a size 8 head, because it is, you go through the same struggles. You walk into a Lids and I know how to buy a hat there. You go, hey, what size 8s do you have? And he goes, everything. I go, you don't have everything. You don't have everything.
You don't have everything?
I say that every time.
Ooh, that's a little dangerous.
You don't have everything.
You don't walk into a store and comment on another guy's inventory.
I've done it so much. I do. I walk into Lids. I go, what do you got in a size of that? And size 8. And he goes, everything. I said, okay, really? And he go, yeah. I go, how about that Tampa Bay hat? And he's like, all right, let me check. He comes down and he goes, yeah, we don't have that in a size 8. And I go, okay, let's start over. I go, what do you have in a size 8? And he's like, and then they use their brain and they go, probably whatever local team. Like if you're in Cincinnati, probably like the Reds hat. And I go, can you check to see if you have a Reds hat, please? And he's like, yeah. And he goes, no size 8 in that. And I'm like, okay. It's such a pain in the ass.
Well, and you come in with a bit of an attitude.
100%, like a woman with a big foot buying shoes.
And you cannot bring up the fact that she has big feet
at all.
At all.
And so then every time he goes, got 7 7/8. Why don't you put that on? And I go, it's not gonna fit. And he goes, I don't know. They run big. I go, no, they don't. I'm a size 8. A size 8 is different than a 7 7/8. Trust me. And he goes, just try. And I'm like, okay. I go, it's my head. I've been doing this my whole fucking life. And I put it on. He goes, well, you got a big head. I go, that's why I walked in with a fucking attitude, asshole.
Wow. They just want to get that red mark on your forehead. Have you walk out with it.
Wait, what do you have? A 7 1/4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember 7 1/4. I was in like 8th
My
grade.
mother buys me, when my mother gets me hats, she still buys me a size 8. Because she told me since when I was a little kid, and we used to be called a wiffle. In the summertime, I wanted to get a wiffle. She goes, you can't, your head's too big, it's too round, and all of this shit. And I think in her head, because when I was born, my head was this big. We already talked about this shit. So I think to this day, I think she was embarrassed of me. Just this big-headed kid just walking around looking like he was going to knock down a Lego city. So to this day, when she goes to buy me hats, dude, I mean, I could like spin these fucking things. It's like, Mom, I got a big head. I don't have a big head. It's like,
Wait,
is
what's
this
a wiffle?
David Ortiz's fucking hat? Where'd you get this?
What's a wiffle?
A wiffle is like a crew cut. Where I grew up, it was called there was different we called it a wiffle. If a teacher yelled at you, you got balled out. If you were just trashing somebody, it wasn't roasting them. It was called he was ranking on them.
Really?
Dude, second period, I was fucking ranking on Mark, and I got balled out by the fucking teacher. Now my mom's not going to let me get a fucking wiffle. I hate that teacher. She's a fucking D-bag.
Our only example of those, this is so bad, in Florida, was all our slangs all had the N-word in them.
Oh, God.
Oh, dude.
Like in the hip-hop generation type of thing?
No.
Oh, with the R.
Yeah, it was like if you knocked on someone's door and ran away, or if everyone jumped on one person. So like that was like if you jumped on everyone, you guys called it a dog pile.
We all jumped on. We'd say that wasn't a fair fight.
No. Say there was a fumble and everyone jumped on the ball.
A scrum.
Scrum? No.
I don't know what we just called that game "Kill the Man with the Ball."
No, well, we didn't call it that. We called it "Smear the Queer."
Smear the queer. Well, you know what it is about Florida? I wonder if before Walt, the anti-Semite, showed up. You know, I bet when he showed up, you guys all didn't like him because he didn't hate enough. When he showed up and he made that park right there in Florida, Disney World.
Yeah.
I think that everybody else in the country then separated Florida from the South. And maybe I also think Miami, Hollywood, Florida, the Jackie Gleason show. I think there was a level of glamour to Florida that people didn't like. I don't know. I mean, I guess people always retire down there. For some reason, it never got the bad rap that the rest of the South deservedly
it was just
get.
as bad, too. It was just as bad.
Kidding about deservedly get. I like the South.
Oh, dude, Florida was definitely the South. It was the outer, like the coasts of like right on the beach was a little bit more elevated than like the center of Florida, like Okeechobee, Live Oak, like all that Ocala, all that center of Florida was very redneck.
I used to scream the name of that lake when I would be driving by myself on the 75 or the 95, whatever the fuck it is out there. I used to do that all the time. Okeechobee! Just to keep myself awake. I just love the name.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. At some point, I was going to drive across and then up from Miami because I had a gig in Miami, then Tampa. And I just, by the time I got that gig, I was too old to do the drive. I was like, I ain't fucking doing this, man. I'll look down.
There was a river we'd float called the Itchnatuckney.